friends, this is Bijou Baker. I'm Maria. This is day 12 of the 12 days of cookies, and I told you I'd be off a day or two, and I'm off a day or two. I had a train of thought. I don't know where it went. This is gonna, oh, I know what it was. I had done this cookie and lost all my videos on my camera. So I got all the way up until where I was pulling them out of the oven, and I saw that I'd lost it. So all that was wasted. However, the cookies were great and they were a hit. So now we're getting back to that one cookie, and this is going to be quick and easy because by now you know the process, you got the system, you got it going. These are a huge hit. These are Bijou's best lemon cookies. Now, my dad had always taught us that if you're going to put your name on anything, it better be the best you can put out there. Nailed it. These are good. Let's just whip this one out. You know the drill. Add the dry together and mix them and then set them aside. Good old patterns. All right, I'm going to make lemon sugar, and that's literally just the zest of a lemon, and I'm going to mix it in with the sugar. When you can do this, you can do this like by a pound of sugar and maybe about a pound of lemons, and just zest them up a bit. The longer this sits, the more flavor you're gonna get. And in the cookie, in this particular cookie, this is the only lemon flavoring inside the cookie. I should have got a bigger bowl, but you get it. So just let it sit. I'm telling you, you can make a jar of this, and then when you want lemon sugar, just scoop it out. It's perfect for cookies or even a cake, whatever flavoring you want, or even your tea. Okay, so this is a crumbly dough, but it will kind of form into a ball. So just kind of work with your hands and get all the moist and the dry together. It actually feels really good. All right. I'm not going to knead it because it's not anything that you need, KN, but I'm going to form it into something, a mountain, and then very roughly separate it. So I'm going to be working with two separate balls, I guess, but they're not going to end up being balls. I'm going to shape this into a log. It's not going to roll really well. And this part's it may seem discouraging, but please just stick with it because I promise you they're worth the work. All right, so I'm just going to shape this into a square log. Mushing and patting, mushing and patting. And it's going to want to come apart, but you're better than the cookie. So let me just play with this and you can see what I'm going to do. So I put some plastic wrap down, and I'm going to put this back in the center. It's going to be crumbly. Just let it try to get away from you. I'm going to wrap this up because this will help keep its form. As tight as you can. Okay. If it will take a ball, do it. You can do whatever shape you want. I think I'm going to do these square because I think they look neat. And the other one's kind of like a pyramid. So because they're in here, they're kind of going to hold its shape. So I'm going to stretch it out and flatten it and then turn it over because I want to keep the square shape. They're not going to rise or anything in the oven because we didn't put any levelers in it, any elements to baking soda or powder or anything like that. So whatever shape you end up with, that's the size cookie you're going to get, and it's a good size. So I'm going to leave this here for now. Now, if you're going to make a lot of cookies, you probably want to double. I'm not going to say double the batch, but make them twice, because double the batch is it's going to be very cumbersome. And like I say, whatever shape you want. It's kind of like a very dry Play-Doh. So I'm going to make this into a diamond. No, I'm not. I meant a triangle. So it's nice and tight so that when I'm working with it, it's not going to go anywhere. I'm pushing it out. And then I've got to make this even too. You get it, right? A triangle. A pyramid, whatever you want to call it. But make the end flat because that way you don't have to waste any cookies. And because you can, so. All right, these are going to go in the refrigerator for about an hour or the freezer for about 20 minutes. I'm not going to lie about that last part being a little bit tricky. But stay with it, stay with it. I promise you, you'll be glad. It's not a crumbly cookie. It's definitely not dry. It's a simple, not shortbread. I can't quite explain the kind of cookie, but it's yummy. Very light. The stuff that's really going to give it its pop is this icing that we're going to drench over it. And it's a very basic sugar icing. It's powdered sugar and lemon juice. And I'm using the zest of another lemon to give even more flavor. And when you make your icings, it's powdered sugar and a liquid, flavoring and a liquid. So this is going to be the only liquid we're going to use. So it's going to be pungent. So good. And I'm making enough because I don't want to be stingy. I want them to really be glazed. 2 cups of powdered sugar. I zested my lemon, and anytime I zest my lemon for my mise en place and I have to put it away, I swoosh it all the way down. I don't just cover the top. I kind of mold it to the lemon zest so that it stays moist. And since that's all I'm going to be using, really, I definitely want to make sure that I'm going to get everything. And this, again, you can let this sit together overnight. I'm going to start off with just the juice of half a lemon. You know, and someone was giving me a hard time about lemon and Christmas cookies, Maria. It's like, I'm sorry. Lemon any time of the year is okay with me. All right, so let's just see. I'm just seeing there. Oh, that smells so good. And I don't want it thick. I don't want to spread it on. I kind of want it to fall on itself. So I'm going to add more. You may end up with a whole lemon. Depends on how juicy your lemon is. That's why I'm not going to give you measurements on that. I am going to use more juice. You can add a touch of vanilla in here, but nah, I'm not gonna. I just want lemon. I should have used this app. This baby's juicy. I'll just start off there. Give it time. It'll give you what you want. It's nice and thick, but I'm going to clean this up and then see where I stand. I'm going to tell you why this is okay, because it's still thick. I'll still be able to take a little spoon and spread it on each one and then let it kind of drag over. The thicker this is, the more firm glaze you're going to get. These cookies, you don't want them to touch each other and then get the residue on the last cookie. So when these harden, they're going to be a really nice satin finish and stackable. And you make sure to cover it. It doesn't have to touch the icing, but we definitely want to get out as much of the air as possible. I really don't want it to touch the icing. Looks like it's going to. That's all right. So it stays like this until the cookies are done. I took these out of the freezer and they are too hard. I let them sit too long. I don't want them hard frozen. I just want them to stay. Air Force Base, you gotta love it. Actually, I really do. I want them to stay firm enough so that when I do slice them, that they won't crumble. Really, that's the essence of why we're chilling it. It gets the butter firm, keeps everything nice and tight, but this is too hard. So I'm gonna let it sit for about 5 or 10 minutes. Come back and we'll slice them up and bake them. Okay, they're ready. So with a super sharp knife, and believe me, that's a knife. You're just gonna cut however thickness you want. Just see, this is the only thing about them being too cold. So I'll let them sit. All those good snacks for later, baby, but this is what I'm gonna do. Slice them up and bake them. Sorry, I missed some of this. So I took them out of the oven. I had them baking for about 15 minutes. And I'm putting them on this other cookie sheet really, really close because this is where I'm gonna ice them. So I'm putting them as close as I can without touching, because if they do touch, well, then the icing's gonna kind of make them stick together. These are just lightly browned. So that's what you're kind of looking for. All right, I'm gonna just leave that there and then ice away. I'm gonna try to fit more in. We're getting the icing. Can you see the lemon specks? Isn't that really neat? But it's still a little too thick. So I'm gonna put just a splash of milk. There you go. It'll still dry with a nice crust. And I'm gonna put just one, sure, right in the middle, why not? And just kind of smear it off. And let it let it fall, let it drip. Because we want to get them fully covered without submerging them. All right, I'm going to finish this up because you can see it's going to be a minute. But, well, here, let me just show you. So these are the finished product. They're still wet, but can you see that shine? That's gonna stay there when they're dry, which is really cool. They're gonna be so smooth like satin. And the specks of lemon just really pop. This is one of my favorite cookies. I know I said that for all of them, but there's a reason for this, because this is like the little drummer boy of Christmas cookies. Don't have much, but you have, I'll give you all I have. And there's not much to it. There's not much to it, but it's got a delicious flavor. Yeah. There's no special tools. There's no special ingredients. There's nothing extraordinary about this cookie except for that the perfection is in the simplicity of it. How poetic. Ready? Okay, so it's dried. Look at how nice and shiny that is, and it's so smooth. So you can stack these on top of each other, but the little drummer boy of Christmas cookies. These are yum. I know it's corny. Oh my gosh, you guys. I really can't even explain this. And this took a long time for me to actually get right. And even when the dough was really crumbly, and I'm going, that's not right. But I pressed through, and I'm so glad. I'm so glad I did, because you can see, I don't know, how good can you see these? Can you see? It's very, it's an, It is, oh, so good. Of all the cookies that I've made, like I said, my daughter had been taking them to work, and we've been getting rid of them. This was the second favorite. My brookie cookie came in first. Go figure, right, people, and what they like. But this baby, summertime, wintertime, I don't care. It's always lemon time, and this one is a winner. Okay, that was it. That was my 12 days of Christmas cookies. What'd you think? Did you have fun? I did. I had a lot of fun doing it. Put a little pressure on myself, but if you can't test yourself now and again, then just stay out of the kitchen. All right, my friends, until next time, happy baking.
Ah, that was fun. Don't forget to like and subscribe.